Good for Your Gut by Desiree Nielsen. That's the cookbook that we're reviewing today, so grab a mug of your favorite beverage and join me for today's Nutrition Coffee Chat. And while you're at it, click the subscription button below and the little notification bell so that you get everything you need to create healthy eating habits that stick. Ooh, well, I've had so much anticipation for this cookbook. I pre-ordered it. When it came in, I raced down to the bookstore and got my copy, and I have cooked up a storm to explore this cookbook so I could review it for you, but also, I admit, to enjoy some more of Desiree's recipes myself. Okay, so the full title for this cookbook, so you know what this is about. Good for Your Gut, a plant-based digestive health guide and nourishing recipes for living well. So this book is like two books in one. It's a cookbook, yes, but it's also got great information about the gut microbiome, about digestive health. Super interesting topic that there's a ton of information and research being done. And Desiree Nielsen, full transparency, she's a fellow dietitian here in BC, Canada, and her and my paths have crossed a number of times over the years. So I know that Desiree has had a long time passion for plant-based eating and for digestive health. She is not, jumping on the bandwagon because those things are popular now. No, she was, an OG in these fields. And so I'm really excited that she's bringing both together for us in this cookbook. And but to be really, really clear, this is not a sponsored post. I paid for this cookbook with my own money. And actually, when she published her first cookbook a number of years ago, I bought that myself and was cooking through it and thought, you know what? I need to share this with you here. And so that's what inspired the first cookbook review here, the publication of her first cookbook. And so, yeah, really excited to be sharing the details on her latest cookbook with you here. Okay, and so yes, how is this book? Let's get into the book itself. So beautiful, solid quality soft cover book. And yes, as you always want to know, every recipe has a photo. Beautiful photos, I must say. Stunning, stunning photos. And then, as I said, that first part of the book, though, is informational. It has 6 chapters on gut health. So let me just read through the table of contents here for you. There is Say Hello to Your Second Brain, Everyday Gut Stuff, How to Feed Your Gut for Life, Gut Health Connection to Your Brain and Immune System, When Your Gut Has a Mind of Its Own, and Gut Healing Nutrition. And then getting into the recipes, there's mornings, quick and simple meals, heartier meals, soup and salads, snacks and sides, baking and sweets. So let's get into the recipes. Okay, first one I tried, breakfast cookies. Yes, that is not an oxymoron. You can have breakfast cookies that are healthy. These are delicious. And they include, there's oats, there's mashed banana, very, very little added sugar with maple syrup in there. So a great healthy choice, lots of nuts and seeds, great stuff happening in there. And some chocolate chips, for a little pleasure. And also some candied ginger in there, crystallized ginger in there, which I'm a huge fan of. Super nostalgic food for me, reminds me so much of my grandmother. She was not a sweet eater, but she enjoyed some candied ginger. and I was baking these for the kiddos, and I was a little bit nervous, I admit, because sometimes the kids find gingers too spicy for them. But I wanted to, honor the recipe, bake it as Desiree recommends. And so I made them with the ginger in there, and the kids loved them. They were not spicy at all. The kids gobbled them up, and I find them delicious as well. Great to, feels very decadent to be having cookies for breakfast. Next recipe, CCFT, Ooh, if you love like a chai type of tea, or there's some chai spiced herbal teas out there without the black tea in it, if that is something you enjoy, you will love this tea. It's spicy, it's cinnamony, it's gingery, and kind of wakes you up without caffeine because of that strong spice flavor. I was a big fan, delicious. Although I did find that it was hard to find whole coriander seeds near me. I don't know, but I did find some, and then delicious tea. Carrot cake muffins. Again, yes, you can make a healthy muffin. Muffins aren't just, naked cupcakes, but you can make them healthy. And this one is a great, delicious, healthy breakfast in there. Again, myself, I love them. Kiddos loved them. These were a big hit in the household. Next was another breakfast idea. I gave a lot of the breakfasts a good trial run here. Crunchy grain-free granola. And this is delicious. You can see I have been eating it, all sorts of it. When I made it, it filled the jar. We've been enjoying it at breakfast time or even at a snack time. And it's a grain-free granola. There's millet in there, which is kind of an unsung ingredient, as well as lots of nuts and seeds. You get lots of crunch, which you want from a granola. And I'll just take this moment, I didn't mention before, that in the organizing of the recipes, not only are there kind of, breakfasts and then entrees and soups and salads as I described, but she also has this little green label on each recipe. Let me pull one up that doesn't have my little sticker close to it. You can see there's a little green label there, and there's heal, soothe, or protect. And they're looking at from a digestive health point of view. So soothe, of course, are recipes if you are having a flare-up of, say, some IBS or something like that, then it can help heal, it can help soothe what's going on. If you're looking to heal your gut, it's got heal recipes, and then it has protect recipes, so to help promote positive digestive health. So I love that in addition to the kind of usual chapters here, she's labeled each of the recipes there. So if you are experiencing some digestive health concerns and you're looking to perhaps do, say, a low FODMAP diet, this has lots of low FODMAP recipes for those soothe or heal recipes. So love that kind of aspect to it. And having worked with a lot of clients who are experiencing digestive health concerns, finding delicious recipes that they can have while they're in that soothing and healing phase. Nice to have this resource, especially plant-based ones. So crunchy grain-free granola, 2 thumbs up for me. Delicious. Really been enjoying that. Moving on, chickpea shakshuka. There you go. I too love a shakshuka. I was introduced to it when I was traveling. And then traditionally, of course, shakshuka has eggs in it, but being a plant-based cookbook, Desiree puts chickpeas in there, which really just matches that Mediterranean flavor profile really, really well. She has this kind of in the earlier chapters here. I did make it more of a, as like kind of a chickpea stew type of dish, serving it over top of some rice for a lunch or a dinner, but yeah, delicious recipe. And yeah, brilliant to do kind of like a shakshuka inspired meal, but without the eggs. Next recipe, creamy mushroom lentil toast. Oh, this might be my favorite recipe in the book. So delicious, so good. Got all those umami flavors going on, and often, of course, you would use a butter traditionally with mushrooms on toast, but she's getting that flavor with a little bit of a plant milk and some nutritional yeast happening. So you got the mushrooms, you've got the nutritional yeast, like just a umami flavor bomb. When I was cooking this, actually, my sweetheart came into the kitchen. He was like, "Oh, that smells so good. What are you making?" And yeah, we gobbled this right up. Delicious, delicious recipe. I will be going back to this again and again and again. Kind of brilliant to combine lentils with mushrooms on toast. Oh, super smart, Desiree, gotta say. Okay, next recipe here. Tofu Okonomiyaki. Again, this is a plant-based take on that. Okonomiyaki and traditionally is made with eggs and perhaps some seafood. In my own cookbook, I did a sardine okonomiyaki in there, but this one is using beisan flour, which has kind of an egg-ish aspect to it. And I loved this dish. It's got the crunch and the cabbage in there. It's got the pickled ginger mayo going on. Of course, being a plant-based cookbook, this is a plant-based, a vegan mayo. But yeah, so many beautiful flavors happening. And if you haven't had an okonomiyaki before, definitely worth trying, whether, in this plant-based version. And it has a protect label on that one. Khichdi is the next recipe. Oh, and this one was really, really good as well. Again, it's lentils, and now this is a low FODMAP recipe, and so it's like, how do you do like an Indian-inspired dish, but without, onions and garlic, which are a high FODMAP ingredient? Well, Desiree succeeds with this. There's tons of flavor going on with all different spices, but still being low FODMAP, so really easy. This has got the HEAL label on it, so really easy to digest for people with digestive concerns, but not lacking in flavor. And something else I really liked about this recipe, and really was a good theme through the cookbook, is that she's used parsnips in here. And she's got a ton of great recipes here with a lot of unsung vegetables, a lot of kind of commonly overlooked vegetables. The kales and the bell peppers and the cucumbers get a lot of attention, but there's a whole lot of other vegetables that, don't get a lot of love. And so I'm super happy to see that she's got a lot of those vegetables represented here in this cookbook. And then as my partner was eating this dish, he's like, oh, there's something sweet in here. I like it. And I was like, those are the parsnips. So yeah, parsnips have a naturally sweet flavor profile, and yet so many people don't cook parsnips. So, yay. Go parsnips, go unsung vegetables in this one. And so yeah, do you have a favorite vegetable that you love to cook with that's a bit of an unsung hero? I'd love to hear you talk up your not popular but delicious veggies. Share that in the comments section below. Let's kind of inspire each other to try new vegetables. Okay, moving on to the next recipe. Where are we here? I tried so many that I'm having a hard time pulling each one up. Ooh, soba with Napa cabbage and peanutty tempeh. Oh, I love this dish. If you like kind of that Indonesian, like peanutty flavor, you will be loving this. And again, tempeh doesn't get as much love as tofu, and yet tempeh is super delicious, I find. And so this is a great recipe if you love those kind of Thai, Indonesian type of flavors, and looking for a dish. And again, this is a HEAL recipe, so she gets lots of flavor happening, even though it's low FODMAP and we're not doing garlic and onion in here. And it was super quick to make too. Really happy with that one. I'll be making that dish again and again for sure. Oat Milk Polenta with burst tomatoes, crispy tofu, and arugula. Oh, again, I keep turning to new recipes and saying this was my favorite recipe and this was my favorite recipe, but they kind of all were, I must say. I loved this recipe. I love a polenta. I love the kind of, it's like a warm hug type of dish. But again, when I typically make my polenta, it's got butter in there. And so I love that she made a plant-based version that still has that warm hug kind of experience, but is plant-based. And she does this with the oat milk and some nutritional yeast to give it that unctuousness, that cozy sort of feel. And then tops it with the delicious pairing of some crispy tofu, some burst tomatoes, the arugula. She's got great kind of flavor contrast and texture contrast going on here. This, again, I will be going back to over and over. Such a delicious meal. Okay, next one, marinated lentil salad. Ooh, I loved this one too. And again, it's a great example of Desiree's real skill at getting those kind of textures and flavor contrasts all singing together. We've of course got the lentils happening here, but then you've got raw carrot, so you got kind of a crunch and sweetness from that, with the strong kind of salty flavor from the diced sun-dried tomatoes in here, and then the stronger flavor of the parsley, something that Desiree and I have in common, again, loving the unsung hero of parsley, using it as more like a leafy green rather than just, a seasoning. Because often, especially with the cost of food going up, I'm finding that, even some of the leafy greens are getting more expensive. And so parsley is often quite an inexpensive, and you can use it like a leafy green. And so I love that she's doing that here. And I also enjoyed this dish cold as written here, but then I did, we've been having a really cool spring. And so some days I wanted, a warm dish to eat. And so I did warm up this dish and served it warm over some rice, and it was delicious, warm or cold. So this will become a bit of a staple in my house too. I can see myself having this over and over again through the summer. Okay, roasted radishes with savory walnut crumble. Ooh, now I don't know if, again, unsung hero, radishes, many people don't know that you can cook them too. And when you do cook them, it completely changes the flavor profile there. There's no more of that peppery, like spiciness going on. So I do have a recipe where I braise radishes. Love that. I think it's from like an old food and wine magazine, like so many years ago, but in the winter I go back to that recipe again and again. And so I was happy to see that she's, including the idea that you can cook radishes in here. And this is a heel recipe again. So, sticking to the lower FODMAP recipe. This is there's a low FODMAP and a high FODMAP option here, but the radishes are a lower FODMAP ingredient, which is great to see. However, this recipe, I admit, it wasn't my favorite. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a flavor profile and a flavor combination that wasn't for my palate. But again, there's no problem with it, and we all have different taste buds, so it might be one that you enjoy. But this one, I didn't find that the flavors kind of melded together and harmonized in that way. And then the next recipe, getting into the sweet treats, is the ginger snaps. Now, this cookie I found was delicious. However, I think the title is wrong, because they, for me, didn't snap. They were more of a soft kind of cake style cookie. And there was a little touch of ginger to them, but the dominant flavor for me was the blackstrap molasses. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that flavor, but the most similar, to me, it tastes like black licorice. Black licorice. So basically these were like a cake cookie that had that strong black licorice flavor. Now I love black licorice, so I found these delicious and had them with like a tea in the afternoon. It was a beautiful thing. But I didn't serve them to the kiddos because I know our kiddos don't like black licorice. And my partner did find them a little too black licoricey for him. So a delicious cookie, but I think ginger snap, no, I would say soft cake style black licorice inspired cookie. If that works for you, if that description works for you, I would recommend this recipe. But if you're looking for a ginger snap, didn't really fit the bill. However, the other cookie that I tried, the peanut ginger macaroons, these were a hit. A huge hit in the household. You combine peanut butter flavor with a macaroon. Delicious. And I found them so rich that I ate one and I was done. Like it was, that with an afternoon tea or a coffee. So happy. But I admit the kiddos in my household, they were just like pop, 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 pop. They were gone. And this recipe makes a lot. She said 36 macaroons. I got 40 or 41 out of my recipe. So love that. And it was a super, super easy recipe to make too. If you've been following me for a while, you know I am not a baker. And so things need to be pretty easy in the baking department for me. This fit that bill. You got a ton. And as I said, the kids just could not stop. They were popping them in their mouths and so happy about them. So this one, resounding winner recipe. Okay, and so those were all the recipes that I tried. Do I recommend this book? Absolutely. 2 thumbs up, strongest recommendation. What is that saying? Like, run, don't walk to your local bookstore to pick up a copy. Or if you do shop for your books on Amazon, I ask that you use the link in the description box below here. When you do so, I do earn a little bit from your book purchase at no extra expense to you. But yeah, congratulations, Desiree, on this cookbook. I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to cook even more from it. Like this recipe on the cover. Oh, doesn't that salad look delicious? Oh my goodness, I can't wait until plums are in season to give that one a try. Yeah, and so, if you like today's video, please let me know. Click the thumbs up button below. I've got a couple other plant-based cookbook reviews queued up here for you to check out. I'll see you next month, and in the meantime, enjoy healthy eating.